Hi, I'm Bilal and welcome back to my channel. Today me and my Dark Circles are going to be reviewing a book, To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. I really like this book cover. It's really pretty because it's like the dark blue and then the gold and there's like these octopus tentacles and it seemed really interesting. So anyway, so the non-spoilery like plot that's like you can find on like the little flap and stuff is basically this siren princess is exiled from her kingdom by her mother, the Siren Queen, because she killed a mermaid. And the queen, the queen's like, hey, if you want your position back, you have to kill the siren hunting prince named Elaine. And you have to bring his heart to me, like his actual physical heart, by the winter solstice. So that's basically the giant plot of this book. And I did not like this book at all. On initial read, I was super excited for it. It reminded me of, I love sirens. They were one of my favorite mythological characters from Greek mythology. And this book just wasn't good, for me at least. I just really didn't like it. I've heard good things about it on Bookstagram and stuff. I know people liked it. But it was not good. I'm just gonna say that. I had a lot of problem with the character development that the author does and the world building, because there isn't any world building in this book. So I'm just gonna start now. This is probably gonna get into the spoilery section of the video, so if you don't want to get spoiled, please don't watch and just skip ahead to the end. Yeah, so as I was saying, so this book basically chronicles Lyra's journey to capturing Elaine's heart. And this book is told in a dual perspective. It's told in the perspective of Elaine, the prince, and Lyra, the princess. And that's one thing that I will like, because that way we get insight into both of the characters. And I like how the dual perspective, we can see the same scenes from both of their perspectives. But Lyra is the bloodthirstier siren known to the humans in this world. She's known as the Princess Bane because she's killed 17 princes, so there's one for each year of her life. And yeah, so she wants to kill Elaine. She has his eyes set on him from the beginning. But in this world, a mermaid's he's mine, I'm gonna steal his heart. And she's like, no, you won't. So she kills the mermaid so she can ensure that she gets the heart of the prince. And her mother finds out and she's like, you just killed a mermaid, goodbye. And then her mother curses her to become a human, so she's transforming into this human in the middle of the ocean. And what ends up happening is Elaine is on his ship called the Sob, and he stumbles upon her. He brings her on board and then he interrogates her. He learns she can speak the language of the sirens, and he's like, oh, how? And she was like, I used to hunt sirens. And he's like, oh, that's so cool. And he imprisons her because he can't trust her. And then they get to this island nation and to get more supplies and stuff. And she's like, I'm gonna come with you on your adventure. He's like, you don't even know what I'm going for. And she's just like, tell me. And so what we end up learning is that he is on the hunt for this object that can kill sirens once and for all. So what we learn through later on in the chapters of the book is basically, back in the day, a couple centuries ago, the humans and the sirens were still warring, but the sirens had their goddess that they worshipped called Keto. And what ended up happening was the humans slaughtered her. And they were about to dispose of her entire body, but the sirens were able to steal one of her eyes and a couple of her bones, and they fashioned a trident out of it, which is where the Sea Queen, Lyra's mother, gets her powers from. But the humans made the other eye of Keto as this weapon that could kill all sirens once and for all. It's the equivalent to the trident, but it's trapped in this other ice kingdom on the tallest peak of the world, and how to get it has been forgotten. And the only person who knows it is Lyra. So Lyra's plan is that she's going to steal back the second eye, defeat her mother, steal the prince's heart, literally just grab his heart from his body. And that way she's going to become Sea Queen. So, of course, things don't really go as planned. Lyra and this prince fall in love. And that's something that I wanted to happen from reading the flap, because I always like it when it's two characters from opposite sides who shouldn't fall in love but do. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, and this book does that. But it does it really badly, because these characters aren't fully developed. So many secondary characters mentioned that we don't really come back to until like the very end, that you kind of forget about them in like the middle of this book. And this book isn't that long. It's a little over 300 pages. But even then, I still couldn't remember some of these side characters' names until they came up again. I was like, wait, who are they? And then I had to go back and read them because once they're mentioned, they don't come back again until much later. And it's so random because you're just like, I didn't realize they were that important. And so we learn the only two characters I can really tell you about are Lyra and the prince. And even then, they weren't really that well developed. So as I said before, Lyra has 17 hearts for each year of her body. But the first 12 hearts she has, her mother went and got because she was too young to kill. And so there's this one scene. It literally has it's like less than 3 pages that are devoted to it. It's one like she's imprisoned on the ship and she's like thinking about her past. And we learned that Lyra was actually a really sweet girl. But her mother made her into this evil creature by making her kill her aunt. And, like, that's such a big pivotal plot point because that's when Lyra became bloodthirsty and it's only given, like, less than 3 pages. And then, all after that one scene's mentioned, the author is just, like, she's really, like, she becomes a sweeter girl and that just isn't how, like, I think it should have gone. We should have gotten more build-up into her becoming a nicer person. She should have interacted with more people, but she doesn't. And then the prince was just your cookie cutter. I don't want to be a prince. I want to roam the seas, but I can't because I have to rule the kingdom. So this is like his last quest before he's going to find a wife and settle down. And so these characters were like super bland. They were super boring. As Lyra and the prince, they end up falling in love through these adventures. They figure out that the key to finding the second glass of keto, they have to visit the ice kingdom. I don't even know their name. Pega, I think is what it is. And they have to like visit them, climb the mountain, which they do. And there's like a lake, a moat and stuff. They cross it. And she ends up getting the eye by spilling her siren blood because that's one thing you need. And when she does that, that's when they all realize, oh shit, she's a siren. And then they immediately are like, oh, we're going to kill you, blah, blah, blah. But they let her, Elaine lets her leave because he's like, I love you, but if I ever see you again, I'm going to kill you. She goes to the moat, summons her mother. There's this, like, battle that happens. But this battle was so badly written, it left me confused. Because everything just sort of happens all at once. This is huge build-up to this final battle between her and her mother. And it's done in less than maybe 4 pages. And I wish we got more of it. I wish we learned more about, like, you know, how the battle happened and everything, because it just came out of nowhere and it happened just as fast. And so, yeah, and then so she defeats her mother, all the sirens are joyous, and because she fell in love, Lyra's just like, we're gonna become a new kingdom, and we're gonna become friends with the humans. Each time I read, like, a fantasy book like this, or a science fiction book, I'm so used to there being, like, a map. And it doesn't have to be a map of the entire world, but, like, a map of, like, the areas that are relevant to the story. And this book didn't have anything. So there's, like, nothing to go off of. So, like, one, the geography, because they're on a pirate ship that's going from, like, I think they visit 3 different kingdoms. We're not sure how long it is. We're not sure of the world's size. And it's mentioned briefly that climbing the mountain to get to the second eye of Keto took weeks. And, like, I don't understand the geography. It was so confusing. Because I thought this world had, like, 5 or 6 kingdoms, because this book mentioned 4. One was, like, just owned by a pirate. One was the kingdom of Midas, where Elaine is from. The other one was the Siren Kingdom that's underwater that nobody knows about. And the other one was the kingdom of Pegay, which is, like, the Ice Kingdom. And then there was, like, another one mentioned. And that's it. There's only 5 that I can think of mentioned. But we learn at the very end that this world is composed of 100 kingdoms. Where are they? I don't know. Nobody does. And so that was another big no-no in my opinion. And also, like, we learned that each kingdom has, like, some sort of mythology behind how the rulers became rulers. So for Elaine, it's like if you cut them, they bleed gold. That's why they're called the Kingdom of Midas, and their whole symbol is gold, but we don't know why that is. We have no idea. In the Kingdom of Pajay, the Cold Kingdom, all the royals are basically albinos. They have blue lips, blue eyes, their skin is pale, and that's because, like, they're in the cold, but other than that, we're not given an explanation for it. And another problem I had was the kingdom of sirens. So sirens aren't immortal, especially the siren queen. There's been a siren queen every 60 years. That's their custom. So I wasn't sure if the sirens have always hated the humans and if their customs have always been so brutal and like so like terrible because of the siren queen, or if it's just always been like that. We don't know. So, and obviously, as you can tell, I absolutely did not like this book. It wasn't for me. It was just badly, I don't want to say badly written, but the entire world was badly constructed. So it kind of didn't make sense to me. So I definitely won't be recommending this book. But if you liked it, please comment down below why. Thank you for watching. And once again, I'm Bilal. Please, if you like this video, please like it. If you didn't, that's fine. And please just like, subscribe, all that jazz. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.